Recep Tayyip Erdogan, born February 26, 1954, is a Turkish statesman, politician, and since 2014, president of Turkey. An advocate of conservative democracy, he is an authoritarian leader, a supporter of Turkey joining the European Union on its own terms, and reducing friction between the Islamic and Western worlds. Recep Tayyip Erdogan was born on February 26, 1954 in Istanbul, to a poor family of a Coast Guard worker. But already at the age of 1 year, he and his family left Istanbul and settled in the small town of Rize in the northwest of the country, from where he returned only 12 years later. His father decided to move back, hoping to give his 5 children a better education. As a teenager, Recep went to an Islamic school, practiced soccer, and was even a semi-professional soccer player for local club Fenerbahce from 1969-1982. Erdogan graduated from the Eyüp Religious Lyceum in 1973 and earned a degree from Marmara University's Faculty of Economics and Management in 1981. Already from a young age, the future president found himself drawn into politics. During his school and university years, he was an active member of the Turkish National Student Union, and in 1976, he became chairman of the youth branch of the National Salvation Party in the Beyoğlu neighborhood. As a young idealist, he met Necmettin Erbakan, considered the founder of political Islam, and even served as Turkey's prime minister from 1996-1997. He became a mentor to Erdogan, who joined the Turkish Islamist movement. Nevertheless, when the Welfare Party was established in 1983, and political parties banned in the coup were generally allowed to form again, Erdogan's career took off. In 1994, Erdogan was elected mayor of Istanbul. His success in this position was recognized even by critics of the authorities. During the years under his rule, Istanbul became better looking. Such chronic problems as water shortage, excessive garbage, and traffic jams were solved. Recep Tayyip Erdogan quickly gained political points due to his proletarian origin and adherence to Islamic values. His zeal on the religious side, however, displeased secular Turks, including those in power during those years. It got to the point that in 1998, while still mayor, Erdogan received a criminal record and even went to prison for publicly reciting a poem with the lines, "Mosques are our barracks, domes are our helmets, minarets are our bayonets, our soldiers are full of faith." Erdogan had to resign as mayor because of criminal charges and refused to participate in parliamentary elections. However, in 2001 he became the head of the Justice and Development Party, which he founded, and was considered one of the most popular politicians in Turkey. Remaining in the shadows, he continued to be close to power. In 2002-2003, the government was headed by his protégé Abdullah Gül. Erdogan was given the green light by the U.S. operation against Iraq, which began in 2003. The U.S.-oriented Turkish elite agreed to change a number of laws, including one that prohibited those with a criminal record from running for public office. Erdogan took over the government and remained Turkey's prime minister until the 2014 presidential election. Under him, many resources were thrown into the rapid development of the country. Many new dams, houses, schools, and hospitals were opened at a rate never before seen in Turkish history. Foreign experts called the changes initiated by Erdogan a quiet revolution. Until 2007, the president of Turkey was elected by the parliament, but in 2007, the country held a referendum, as a result of which it became possible to directly elect the president by popular vote. The law necessary for this was adopted in 2012, and the first opportunity for popular will came only in 2014, when the term of the previous leader came to an end. The new law also gave the president more power. Until then, it was more of a ceremonial post. Direct presidential elections in Turkey were held on August 10, 2014. Already in the first round, the incumbent prime minister won a convincing victory over his opponents, former Secretary General of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, Ekmelettin İhsanoglu, and leftist candidate Selahattin Demirtas, representing the Kurdish minority. The new post allowed Erdogan to concentrate maximum power in his hands and gradually begin to shift toward authoritarianism. At that time, the Turkish-Kurdish conflict, which had lasted since the 1980s, once again escalated. The Turkish authorities launched a counter-terrorist operation. Many opposition figures disagreed with the assessment of the Kurds as terrorists, and the president was increasingly labeled a dictator. In July 2016, this led to an attempted military coup that ended in failure. Erdogan miraculously escaped death at the hands of putschists in Marmaris. However, this did not stop him from continuing to expansively develop the Turkish economy and build trade and economic relations with both the European Union and other countries. These steps allowed him to be re-elected for a second term in early elections in 2018. A popular version in Turkey is that Erdogan's ancestors came from Ajara, a region in Georgia. It was also confirmed by the head of state himself during an official visit to Georgia in 2004. "I am also Georgian. Our family moved from Batumi to Rize," Recep Tayyip admitted. Historians claim that there were no Turks among Erdogan's ancestors. Georgians were present among the head of state's ancestors, and Laz blood flows in him. For those who do not know, the Laz is a sub-ethnic group of the Georgian people. Their mother tongue is related to Mingrelian and is part of the Georgian language family. The Laz lived in what is now Turkey, even before the Seljuks and Ottomans arrived. The ancient Greeks called the country of the Laz, Mingrels, Svans, and other Western Georgians Colchis. That is where the Argonauts went on their ship in search of the Golden Fleece. In the subsequent era, the Laz managed to preserve their national identity, Christian faith, language, and culture in a hostile environment for a long time. Erdogan did not hide this and told the public about his roots in the summer of 2004 during his visit to Batumi, and also confirmed several times in his speeches that he is a Laz, although he believes that nationality does not matter to him. The main thing is that he is a Muslim.
Bir gün babama sordum. Baba biz Laz mıyız, Türk müyüz dedim. Rizeliyiz ya, kimisi siz Lazsınız diyor, kimisi Türksünüz diyor. Babam dedi ki, oğlum dedi, büyük dedem mollaymış. Ona sormuş. Dede demiş, biz Laz mıyız, Türk müyüz? Büyük dedem de babama şu cevabı vermiş. Torunum demiş, yarın ölecek. Allah bize men Rabbuke ve men nebiyyuke ve ma dinüke sorularını soracak. Ve ma kavmüke diye bir soru sormayacak. Sağ sordukları zaman elhamdülillah Müslümanım de geç demiş.
After such a statement, researchers began to actively study Erdogan's family tree. They managed to find out that the president's grandfather was Tayyip Effendi, the son of the Imam of the Orta Cami Mosque in Batumi. He moved to Rize with his family after Batumi was ceded to Russia as a result of the Russian-Turkish War of 1877 to 1878. But it is impossible to determine the exact date of resettlement. In 1916, Erdogan's grandfather died in a World War I battle near the town of Rize. All his childhood, the future president of Turkey spent at the birthplace of his ancestors in Rize. The politician was born in Istanbul, but despite this, his parents often moved. The mother of the future president of Turkey was a housewife, on whose upbringing there were 5 children, and his father worked in a maritime partnership. In 1967, Recep Erdogan and his family returned to Istanbul, and 6 years later he graduated from a religious school. By making such statements, Erdogan actually recognizes that the Turkish nation was largely formed artificially under the influence of former Ottoman subjects, and, therefore, it cannot exist as a living organism without support. There are Crimean Tatar, Circassian, Georgian, Jewish, Balkarian, Slavic, Armenian, Chechen, Greek, and other non-Turkish blood in millions of Turks. However, they do not like to talk about it in Turkey, and constantly remind about belonging to the Turkish nation.